Oops, I did it again. Not first place though, but third place. I went 3-1 with like full dogmatika today. So 2 days ago, Friday, I won locals, and this time I was 1 win away from winning locals. But sadly, I just lost game 1 against Pearly, won round 2, lost 2 and 3. Then round, I'm thinking, round 2 was against, not Fire King, round 2 was against also Dogmatika. Yes, also Dogmatika, but he was playing Alistair, Dragoon package a lot. I won that 2-0. Round 3 was against Fire King. I lost round 1, won round 2 and 3 by just OTKing my opponent and not trying to drag the game on. That was my mistake game 1. That just gave my opponent the same advantage every time and I had 0 advantage. And round 4 I won against Brandon, just Brandon. Brandon without the puppet lock. He doesn't like playing the opponent didn't like playing the puppet lock. But that was my matchup. I won that one 2-1 2-0 also. We had a very long game 1 with a very short game 2 because I won in time. But we played it out, and even when playing out, I still won the match. So I actually went 2-0 that last round. So I went 3-1 with this deck. I won a lot of. I didn't went 0-2 any time, so I only went 2-0, 2-1, and 2-0. So pretty good. So yeah, let's get into the deck list. So for the main deck, let's see. We play for the ritual monsters. We play 2 Dogmatika Almazoa. This card is insane. My opponent went Mirror J effect. I only had this card on the field. He said banish. I said no. This card is unaffected by XZ, Synchro, Link monsters, blah blah. Everything that's coming from out of the X pick as of now. And my opponent was like, oh, and I was like, you can take it back if you want, right? I'm not that mad about it, and I just kicked over it. Very strong card, 4k. White Knight of Dogmatika. This card, people say this is the worst card, but I think this is one of the better cards to be able to have because of the fact that this card just gets out more of your opponent than you realize. It's one activation of a card effect, so can be anything, even hand traps. So I still like it. And you can send Titanic Clad using Dogma Calamity. And the last ritual monster was 1 white relic of Dogmatika. This card is just there to get over annoying cards because my opponent summoned Winda. I gain attack of the Winda, attack over the Winda. So pretty good card. Then for the normal monsters of Dogmatika, we play 3 Ecclesia. Ecclesia is just the starter of the card, a starter of the deck. There's nothing bad to say about this card. It's just a starter. I played 2 Minimus. Of course, the card is Dogmatika Maximus, but I like to say Minimum. But 1 is way too sacky. It gets rid of it easily. 2 is mandatory in this deck and in this list. By only having getting 1 banished, it just sucks so much. People can out 1, but it's very hard to out the second. And I also played 1 Fleur de Lis because of the negation effect that she has, and because of the effect that you can also gain 500 attack for every when a Dogmatika monster attacks, every Dogmatika monster gains 500 attack permanently. Of course, until it leaves the field. I really think that this deck of this card is mandatory at 1. I really would like to play more of this card, but it's just you just can't. A card I want to play was Dogmatika Asian. This card gains 500. It gives all Dogmatika monsters 500 attack when the opponent's monsters attack. So this can give you just a bit more protection, and it's easily special summonable, and it gets recursion. So I think I want to run 1 of this card also for next time. Let's get back to the deck itself. I played non-Dogmatika Monsters 1 Fairy because I have it and it's still a strong card. One day I will probably have more Fenrirs, or no, never, because it will be limited next bandits. Trust me. I played a funny card. It is 3 Sengens. This is so funny. You just normal summon Sengen and go and make Almirage. Almirage makes Secure Guard now. Dogmatika Maximus effect. Banish the Almirage. And then you can just use Maximus again. The effects of the cards you send to the graveyard. Sengen is a very interesting starter. It can also switch to Ecclesia, but I was using all Sengens because this Sengen says move 1 monster from your deck to your hand. So I thought it would be funny, but the new Sengen also says that that monster cannot be used. So in 2 games I did use the monster that I searched, but my last opponent said at the end of round 1, wait, you can't do that, because of the fact that it was changed, and I literally didn't know because I just thought it was funny to play with this card, and I don't think I have real Sengengs, actually, or new ones. So for next time I know it. Sadly, I would 1 round it didn't matter that much because I just had how do you say it? I have it here. I had the Dare Servants in hand. The Dare Servants literally did the same thing. I already had Dogmatika Maximus in hand, so I could have added Draw or Ash. Yeah, that's it. It's a funny card. It's like normal summon effect. It's so much fun. And people love to see Sengen. For the hand traps, I played 2 Droll because I'm still running the Crosshair Designator list. And Droll just cocks my deck, and I just don't want to see it against my deck. And it's still a good main deck option, in my opinion. 3 Ash Blossoms and Joyous Springs because Ash Blossom is still the better hand trap, in my opinion. There is one hand trap I like a bit more for specific reasons if you're playing against in tournaments, but that's also in the deck. You just want to see this card as much as possible. For the spells, we have 3 Nadir Servants. Nadir Servants is just a great card. It just searches you a lot. It can give you a draw with Garura, add Maximus, Maximus effect, banish, Garura, Maximus effect, send Arclight, plus another card, Arclight effect, add a ritual spell card. It just gives you so much advantage. Dogmatika Matrix is a very good going second and going first card, especially in this meta, because of the fact that they don't build negate boards. So this card is very strong. And yeah, that's it. On activation, you search a ritual spell or monster, and then if your opponent has a monster on the field, you can also add a Dogmatika card. This other effect says that when you have a ritual monster on the field, you can look in both people's extra deck, yours or his, not both, like and his, but just yours or his, and then just send 1 card away. So it gives you a bit more versatility. A very strong card. Ritual spell cards, 2 Dogmatika Lemity. Just get you into the combos, get you into your big body monsters or other monsters if you need to. You can also have White Relic, summon White Relic with using Arclight effect, add another card. Yeah, it's pretty good. We had 1 Dogmatika Macabre. Sorry, that's the name. This does the same thing as this card. This can use the extra deck, but this can also use your graveyard. So with this one you can exceed using your graveyard. With this card you need to send 1 specific monster. We played 2 pre-preparation of rights because it just adds you your big boss monster or other cards or other monsters that you need. It's just a very good card. I don't want to run it at 3 because it's still a 1 per turn card. For the skillful cards, in my opinion, I still play 3 Crosshair Designators. I really like that this card is a card that requires a bit more skill, in my opinion, with deck building. Not really playing it because if you play it and your opponent activates, you can choose to negate it or not. But sadly, this did not came up today, like 0. It only came up when my opponent activated his Noir. I chained this, called Droll, just to deck it in. That was the only. I still like this. Another skillful card, in my opinion, is Droplet. Within Droplet, just sends cards from your hand or to the graveyard and then negate that amount of monsters. It's non-targeting, so this can get over Dragoon real good. Yep, I really like this card. And your opponent cannot respond by the cards you send. Last spell card is TTT. TTT, it's just that one-off card that is very strong. Can be sided out if you need to. It's just a strong card. For the trap cards, I play one Dogmatika Punishment. I think Dogmatika Punishment is a good card. It's just something extra, right? It's just something extra. It is searchable, it is settable. It's not that amazing, but it's just something extra. And for the better hand trap, in my opinion, is just 3 Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is, in my opinion, better because it doesn't. If you play against real tournaments, because then people cannot activate TTT or TTT, of course, Thrust and Talents, because you are not using a monster effect in their turn. So I really like it, and people are playing a lot of Imperm. I playing Cross a Designator can Imperm this card, or can Cross a Designator calling this card. This was the main deck, 40 cards main indeed. So let's get into the extra deck, which is not as tight as I thought it would be, but still I use a lot of space. So I have one Selma Great Armor Rush for the Sengeng play that I told you about. I have one Secure Gardener for the play I was talking about. So you have this card in the graveyard for your Dogmatika Maximus. Then we're playing one Tri-Brigade Arms Miraculous or Bucephalus. I have no idea. Number 2, I have no idea how you say it. But when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send one Beast, Winged Beast or Beast Warrior monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. It just sends Garura. And then Garura draws another card. But it's also 3500, so it can deal with cards that are higher than 3 or 2500. Yeah, it just gives you just extra bit of more protection to deal with those kind of cards. Then next up, I played one Typhon as my only XZ card. Typhon is still a strong card. There was a lot of times I could have summoned it, but the other plays were just way better. But it is still an amazing card, in my opinion. For the ritual cards, we played 2 Heralds of Arclight. This card is very good. It just gets you into combos, search cards. It does so much for this deck. I think 2 is the best ratio that you could play. I think if you want to play more than 2, don't. There's literally no. The last Synchro monster is Wind Pegasus Adignister. This card is pretty interesting, but when the first effect doesn't matter, but the second effect is when a card is destroyed by battle or card effect, one of your monsters, you can banish this card from the graveyard and then target one monster and then return that one to the deck. That specific effect is very good to deal with a lot of cards that you do not want to be destroyed or do not want to be seen back. For the fusion cards, I played one Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon because of the fact that you can send this with Dogmatic Calamity, and it's just funny to see. The better version is this card, the Arctos number 7, Chronocasm Valence. It's also a 12, can be sent for the Dogmatika, also with Dogmatic Calamity, but this card is not light, so in my opinion it's better. I do not have the Lulu Wallet. That one is a bit better in my opinion, but I just don't want to spend that kind of money for that card. I play 2 Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon. It just special summons a Dogmatika monster. So if you have not been able to see Ecclesia and you have a mild board, which this one is in the graveyard, you can activate effects, special summon Ecclesia at flurry, so you still have a negate. And it just can give you a bit more Dogmatika. I played one Antis, only one Antis. I think 2 Antis was way better. The second one would have come up way more than I would like to actually. But in a meta where destroying your opponent's monster is not that good, and back row can be activated, I still think this card is not that great. But I think if I played better, I could have done way more. I played only one Garura. I would have loved to play 2 or 3 Garuras because the extra draw is just crazy. One Mud Dragon because I have Super Polymerization in this side deck. I probably would take out the Super Police and play 3 Garuras because the draw is just that strong. Dragon Stupenda is also there for Super Poly, but I have never seen Super Poly. Didn't also need it. Then for the side deck is just almost a bit the same as the side deck for the other deck, the Gold Fight deck. Which let's just say I played 2 Bestial Jerusalem for the Dark matchup and 1 Magnamut for the Dark matchup. This is just strong Magnamut searches Jerusalem and gives you another pulse. Nothing that special. I played 3 Denko Sekka this time instead of 2. Denko Sekka is just a crazy card in my opinion. Against Labyrinth and Rescue Ace. And it's funny because this card says that you cannot control set spell and trap cards. So you can have your feud spells, you can have your, how do you say it? Continuous spell cards that would still work under this card. Still 1 Dimensional Shifter because this deck gets cucked by D-Shifter. So it's just cross-out targets. Chaos Hunter because I still don't like playing against Runic. And I still don't... I still think that being not able to banish as the opponent is very strong. 2 Super Polymerizations. Super Poly is just very strong in this meta. And I played 3 Cosmic Cyclones because Cyclone is very good in this meta by being able to banish cards, getting away with your opponent's spell cards or trap cards, few spells. It's just that good. So this was the main deck. It's a bit shorter of video than the other one. Going 3-1 with playing against decent opponents, I would say. Only the last one opponent was like actually pretty good with his deck in my opinion. The other ones were still good and made me sweat very hard. But the Viking, it was good, but he missed a bit too much in my opinion. But maybe he had other plays in his mind. We couldn't talk really much because we had to get to game 4. So I really like this deck. I think Albazoa is a very based card. But in this meta where Viking is playable, this deck doesn't do much because it is not using their extract that much. They just pop every card I have. So it's not that good. But thank you all for watching. I have to say it was amazing. I had a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you all for watching and have a nice day.